Hari Om, Bhagavad Gita, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, chapter 18, verse 12. In the last verse, Bhagwan Krishna said, as long as one is embodied, one is having a body, he cannot avoid action. We have already seen action is insignia of life. A Tyagi is a person who does all his duties without attachment to the fruits of actions. This is what Bhagwan Krishna said in verse 11. Verse 12. Anistam Misram Ch Trividam Karmana Palam Bhavatyatyagi Pretyam Natu Sanyasinam Kvachit. Again, a wonderful verse. The result of karma, the result of carrying out an action, it could be threefold. It is threefold. Why could be? It is threefold. Anistam, that is undesirable results. You perform an action, the result may be acceptable to you or undesirable to you. Anistam means undesirable. Istam, desirable results. Whatever you wanted, you got it. Misram, it could be a mixture of two. How can a result can be a mixture of two? So I was thinking about that. It could be undesirable, I can agree. It could be desirable, I can agree. How an action can be a result can be a mixture of two. The example I could think of, it may not be a right example, but sometimes the result may be a mixture of two. Sometimes. Suppose if you are in a deep trouble, you bought a housing loan, 1 crore. Suddenly you lost your job. So you are in deep trouble. And you are maintaining your father also. With a great difficulty, everything was going on. You loved your father like anything, in spite of the difficulty. But suddenly your father died. Then, because of the love, the emotion was too high. But within 2 days or so, the bank officer came and said, your father has got a deposit for 4 crores. So, and he has nominated you as his nominee. Now, your father died is Anistam, undesirable one. But you got 4 crores so that you can pay off the loan. The bank was sitting on your head. Now you are able to pay immediately by cutting a check 1 crore. It is a Istam. So the same action, the death of your father, is both Anistam and Istam. It is actually said for karmas. Once you carry out a karma, the result could be Anistam and Istam. So I am thinking of this example. Swami Dayananda Saraswati quotes Adi Shankara here, who says, Anishta karma leads one to Naraka, that is hell. It is a temporary experience of pain, or by taking birth in a form lower than that of a human being, maybe an insect or an animal, etc. Ishta karma leads one to heaven. Again, a temporary experience of sukha or pleasure. He takes birth in a form higher than that of a human being. He may be born like a Gandharva. So, Ishta karmas will lead you to the higher level. Anishta karmas will drag you down to the lower level. A very human birth, it is due to a mixture of Anishtam and Ishta karma. Mishram, that is karmas which bring desirable and undesirable results. So we must have done both. The changes are happening minute to minute, sometimes good and sometimes bad. In our life, we are seeing this. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are sad. So the changes are there. Whom does this karma phala affects? That is the question. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says, Bhagavan is saying it is only atyagis. Why it affects only atyagis? Atyagi means those who are attached to the results of karma phala. After death, they have to obtain one or more of these bodies to enjoy or suffer the karma phalas. Why only it affects atyagis and not the tyagis? For tyagis, we have already seen in the last verse, tyagis, there is no karma phala. He renounces all the karma phalas. In the last verse, Bhagavan said, Nahidega Brudashakyam Tyaktum Karmanya Sheshadaga. Yastu Karma Palatyagi, Karma Palatyagi, Satyagi Tabidhi. Only when you renounce all your results, you are called a Tyagi. So once you have renounced all the karma phalas, where is the question of anything there? There is nothing. So for a Tyagi, this rule will not apply. For a Atyagi, there could be three results. One is Anistam, Istam and Misram. Combined. Both of them combined. Swami Dayananda Saraswati quotes again Adi Shankara here. Adi Shankara says there are a number of factors involved in performing an action. An agent, one. Two, the thing acted upon, that is also required to perform an action. Three, the instrument that is used to perform the action. All the three are required to perform an action. Adi Shankara says all of them, all the three, are born out of ignorance, avidya. It is a great magic, Adi Shankara says. It is a great magic, maya. And it creates a great delusion. It seemingly binds the self. That is what Adi Shankara says. Bhagwan Krishna says, for a sannyasi, these threefold results are not there. The second line, Bhavatyatyagi pretya natu sannyasi nam kvachit. For a sannyasi, it is not there. The threefold results. It is only there for the atyagi. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says, the sannyasi referred here is a real sannyasi, not a fake sannyasi. No, not that manner. It is because we have seen two types of sannyasis. Vividisha sannyasi and then Sarva Karma sannyasi. So here Bhagavan talks about Sarva Karma sannyasi and not a Karma Palatyagi. Karma Palatyagi will still have Karma Pala as he is still having the notion that he is a Karta. He is having the notion that I am a doer. As long as one has the notion that I am the doer, naturally he has to suffer the results. He becomes the bhokta, that is, enjoyer of the results. He may not get moksha. Moksha is knowledge that Atma is Akarta in this Janma. But he will pick up the thread in the next Janma and continue from there. Bhagwan Krishna uses the words sannyasi in this verse and not tyagi. A tyagi has to become a sarva karma sannyasi. A real sannyasi has the knowledge of Atma, that Atma is Akarta. That is, self performs no action. Hence, there is no karma phala for the sarva karma sannyasi. On the other hand, a karma yogi still looks upon him as an agent, that is karta, and hence he will have karma phala. All these things are said because there is a question here. Because we know all karmas produce three types of results. So we would have done good karmas and bad karmas. We may be doing it also. So in the next birth, what is the guarantee that our bad karmas will not affect us? Because once you perform bad karmas, you will be born in the lower wombs. Maybe an insect, maybe an animal, maybe a bird. So what is the guarantee that it will not affect me? So what is the guarantee that I will not be born as a cockroach in the next janma? So then how will I reach sarva karma sannyasa? I have to again get a birth, higher birth, slowly, tortoise or a fish, and then I have to become a bird, and then I have to become an animal, and then again I have to reach human stage. So my bad karmas may be there. How will I continue my from karma yogi to sarva karma sannyasi? That is the question. That may be a question. We may be so. Bhagavan already assured in chapter 7 that those who leave the body after starting their spiritual journey, suddenly if they die, that was the question. Hare Krishna, Arjuna is asking. I am doing everything. Suddenly if I die, what will happen to it? In my spiritual journey, if I am not successful, so neither I enjoyed this material world, nor I enjoyed this spiritual, reached the final goal in spiritual journey. So I am in between. I am a lost one. So what will happen to me in the next janma? That was the question asked by Arjuna. Krishna said, "Do not worry. Not to worry." It is an assurance given by Krishna. Once you have started your spiritual journey, there is no chance of you are getting birth in a lower womb. Once you have started, there is no stop. It will start running. The example I could think of is, once the river has started flowing from the initial point, there is no question of the river going back to its original starting point till it reaches the final goal, ocean. Similarly, once one has started the question, who am I? Then for that person, there is no going back in the spiritual journey till he reaches the Supreme. Swami Dayananda Saraswati says, this is not $1 million question, but it is a million life question. But still, you will not, it cannot be reversed. You cannot go to the lower row. That is what Swami Dayananda Saraswati says in this verse. Swami Chinmayananda's explanation we will see tomorrow. Verse 12 again. Anistam Misram Cha Trividam Karmana Palam Bhavatyatyāginām pretyam natu sannyasinām kvachitam. Hari Om, Sarvam Krishnarpanamastu. Narayana 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 Narayana